Get in on the secret. September is one of the best times to visit the Boardwalk Plaza Hotel in Rehoboth Beach. The weather is grand, and just steps from the sand, you can relax and experience the convenience of their oceanfront location right on the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk. Enjoy Victoria's Restaurant, the charming Plaza Pub and room service. Visit boardwalkplaza.com and book your perfect getaway today, or call 800-33-BEACH for fast, friendly assistance. Thanks to the Boardwalk Plaza for being the Bridge Podcast Network sponsor.
Why do Christians listen to this podcast?
Whoa! I didn't know you could do movie trailer voice.
Just why?
Wow! This whole time you've been sitting on that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I assumed, unless you just used an effect that I didn't see you do.
Why do Christians do this podcast? What does that even mean? Well, we're going to jump into the history of this podcast and what we've learned over the past 50 episodes.
50
episodes.
50. Our golden episode anniversary.
Over the hill.
Wow.
I'm Mark Dickey.
And I'm Bert Miller.
This is the Why Do Christians podcast. Hey, welcome to the show, our 50th episode of the Why Do Christians podcast.
It's in 3D, I'm told.
Yeah. You know what? Let's see. Why do Christians do this podcast? There's 3 Ds in the name of the episode.
Oh, wow. That wasn't even intentional. Way to go.
Look at that.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
be in smell-o-vision next time.
Man, we're having a giveaway. Everybody who listens to this episode gets to listen to this episode. Okay, yeah.
The whole thing's free.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know where this podcast came from?
Yes. I was.
You were there. Yeah. Well, hey, in this episode, we're going to talk about how the podcast started. I feel like Drew Carey right now, where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Okay. Hey, fun fact for you guys. That is not the first time today we have referenced in conversation whose line is it anyway? It's the first time on mic, but not the first time today.
Well, maybe it's because it's on my mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, but in this episode, we're not going to answer really questions about Christianity specifically, but we're going to go into, we're going to talk about the last 50 episodes that we've done, how the podcast started, how it happened, why we do it.
Regrets.
What we've enjoyed, things we've learned along the way. We even have, Bert, I've pulled together the top 10 most listened to episodes of the podcast so far.
I'm interested to hear what they are.
Yeah, so out of the 50 episodes, which ones are people like really going after?
It's gotta be the Chick-fil-A episode.
Maybe.
Oh man.
You don't even know. I know, and you don't. So you're going to find out. That's coming up later, as well as I've pulled together some of the episodes. I think if you're a new Christian, maybe you've just found this podcast and you're like, yeah, there's 50 episodes. How am I going to go through these?
Yeah.
One at a time.
Slowly, but meticulously.
But I do have a few, I think it's 7 of the most important episodes if you're new to your walk with Jesus. So
that's great.
Well, where do we start?
Well, as they say in, I think, is it The Sound of Music? We start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. Or is that King and I? It might be.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I think let's start there. Should we tell them how this all came about?
This came about because you said, Mark, we should do more things together.
It's true.
And I quote, we should do something like rebuild a car or something.
Well, okay. So to clarify,
that is exactly what you said.
Yeah. Which would have been a nightmare at least for me, because I have no skill with any of that. No. So something you guys should know about Mark. Mark is one of these guys, and he won't tell you this, but I will tell you this. He's one of those guys who's exceptionally good at lots of things, and he's a jack of all trades. He's very good at just, if he puts his mind to something, he can create it and do it. And so, I think like we had been hanging out. I would like a deliberate excuse to hang out more. Let's do a project of some kind together. Mm-hmm. And there was a broad net with that.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. So the whole let's build a car, that's probably, I don't think I would have ever actually intended to do that. But then we both kind of realized like, okay, like we like to do that, like we like to do something, but we have a problem, and that is we're both employed full time with different jobs. We have families, and our time is very limited. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I work at a radio station that has a studio. And you study God's word for a living.
it worked. It was,
What if what if we put these two things together?
yeah. Enter podcast.
That's the way I pitched the podcast to everyone at the station.
Yeah.
We were talking about like, should we start doing this? They were like, why would Bert want to come here every week? And my exact response was, he can literally only be a better pastor if he spends more time in God's word.
I gotta tell you how honored I am that they have such a high view of me that they would go, why would Bert want to be here? Like that has never been a thing that I've ever heard uttered in my life, that people would be like, that's not a place Bert Miller would want to be, is it? Wow.
Well, when I pitched it, everyone was like, this sounds great, Mark. Like, what aren't you telling us? Why would someone just want to come and, Yeah.
Yeah. So
Why would a pastor want to write a second sermon every week?
Oh yeah, no, it's interesting because I think so for us, once we realize, hey, this is really the only place that we have margin. Like, if we're doing this within our prospective jobs, we can make something work. It just became a matter of, okay, what's the content and what's the show going to be about? And I was trying to find like good podcasts to listen to with my kids in the car. And what happened was, and I don't know if this means we now owe them royalties if I say this. I don't think it does.
No.
Okay. I listened to the Village Church out in Texas. They did a show that's basically explaining Christian doctrine to kids. And I was like, well, does anybody do that for adults? And so that was kind of the genesis of this show. Like, hey, what if we just taught people what Christians believe and practice and why? Like, we actually just explain those things.
Yeah. Well, and the first batch of episodes, we were talking about that, and how do we land on why do Christians? There's a YouTube channel called Wired, and I don't even know what they do, but they make great content.
Wired, like the magazine?
I guess, is it a magazine?
It's like a tech magazine?
Yeah. So they do these YouTube videos with
the autocomplete interviews.
the autocomplete interview. Why are you sounding surprised? This is where our podcast came from.
Oh, I didn't know that part. No,
didn't?
Mark, no, I didn't know that influenced us.
Of course it did.
Well, I didn't. This is great.
Basically, pick your favorite actor. I don't know. Let's say actually,
Dom DeLuise.
That's a hard name to say over and over again.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Robert
yes.
Goulet.
Let's do Burt Reynolds.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he did one with him.
They're all dead. I'm pretty sure none of them did a Wired autocomplete interview.
I can't.
Marlon Brando.
Why are they? I can't find any of these.
Laurel and Hardy. Harpo Marx.
Chris Hemsworth. Okay.
Okay.
Take your favorite Thor, Mr. Chris Hemsworth.
Hold on. Take your favorite Thor as opposed to
All the other Thors.
Okay.
And they go into Google and just type in Chris Hemsworth, and then when you search something, there's the autofill. Chris Hemsworth, I don't know, net worth.
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth birthday. And they start the question, does Chris Hemsworth, and then Google will autofill the rest of that question.
Yeah.
And then he'll answer, the interview is him answering those questions.
Okay.
And so we were trying to come up with, what do people want to know? And so we typed into Google, why do Christians? And the first 6 things that popped up were basically our first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Which is why right off the bat we released Why Do Christians Eat Pork?
That was really up there.
Because that's something that people were asking. And I thought, what? As a Christian, I've never really honestly thought about that.
Sure.
But if that's something people want to know, let's shed light on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's turned into people sending us emails, people at church asking us, hey, I love the podcast. Can you tell me about this? And that's where it came from.
Yeah. I think a good heart in all of this as well, and this is maybe a neat thing to do. There's this great verse in 1 Peter 3:15 where Peter says, "But in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have, but do this with gentleness and respect." And I like that there's this biblical precedent to be like, hey, explain your faith.
Yeah.
Explain why you believe this. What if we could deflate some of the cultural misunderstandings about what Christianity is, what Christians believe, who Jesus is, the essence and root of the gospel? Wouldn't that be a good thing?
Yeah. Well, 50 episodes later, I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's been really neat, and I don't know, some things that you might take for granted, like pork.
Okay. Yeah.
Or the funny ones like, why do Christians like Chick-fil-A?
Which I contend has got to be up there on that top 10.
It might be.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite episode?
No.
No.
I don't. I've said this before. Sometimes people, this isn't just with this, but this is also with like sermons. People will come up to me and they'll say, hey, you taught on this, and this is what I think about this. And the truth is, once I'm done with a talk or episode or whatever, I flush it from my brain. So I can work on the next thing. I just don't really think about it a whole lot. So
yeah.
Chick-fil-A is fresh in my head because you got a Chick-fil-A cup on the table here in the room in front of us. And so
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I just love answering things just straightforward. Why do Christians judge people? Because that's a conversation I've had many times, when people find out that I'm a Christian, there's that immediate, oh, well, I'm not going to believe a word you say because I've met Christians and they're judgmental people.
Yeah.
Or
was that interesting? Remember, like when we first started getting feedback with the show with questions to be answered, I think it was like 3 of them in a row had to do with that exact theme. Like it was all at once, that certainly being out there.
Yeah, it was like, everyone is asking this question. I mean, another one of my favorite episodes, why do Christians suffer? And we talk about in that episode, Christians going like, why do Christians specifically suffer? But why is there suffering in the world?
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing. Oh yeah, if there's really a God, why is there suffering and pain and war in the world?
Sure.
And I love, through doing this podcast, being able to just point blank answer some of those questions.
That's cool.
Talk about it, and it's filed away in podcast land for any time somebody has that question. And it's kind of fun for me. It's like a file cabinet of whenever I'm in a conversation with someone, they're like, yeah, why do you believe that? Oh, well, we recorded a 30-minute episode on it. Here you go.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a link.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Let's talk about a movie instead.
Yeah. I just wanted to know. No, you're going to do your homework if you talk with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I hope as we do this, I think about people who maybe, well, there are a few people that I picture in my head whenever we record episodes. I picture the person who is considering faith. Mm-hmm. And there are all kinds of questions or objections that they have to becoming a Christian. And my hope is that, through these little conversations that we have, maybe we could deflate some of that, because I believe every person is made to be in union with Christ. I believe every person can only experience life the right way if they are in a saving relationship with the Lord. So to have a way where we could go, hey, let's just talk through these things, because the truth is, my Sunday morning pulpit at my church anyway, that's not what it is, and it can't be, because we've got people in the room who largely are already Christians, and I in my church I teach exegetically, so we go through books of the Bible at the time, so these questions don't always come up every week. But this isn't church. This is, hey, we can have an interactive relationship, even if we don't know each other, and even if we're not in the same vein. So I picture people who are considering it or thinking about it, or I would if, but I don't understand this or that. I also picture, you know what? How many of us, we just take things as part of the faith, not knowing what's behind them whatsoever.
Right.
And I love the idea that we have the excuse to go, what's the history behind that?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the thought behind that? And what do people think about that? So that we actually know what it is that we believe. I think there has been, at least in my lifetime, a shift in attitude towards the Christian faith, particularly here in the West, where there's a disdain for various reasons, some valid, some not. But if I can in any way alleviate some misunderstandings, and if you can do that, like if we can sit in this room and go, hold on, that's not what we actually think. Mm-hmm. Here's what we actually believe, and here's why. My hope is that it humanizes us to opponents of the faith and culture as well, so that, you know, when push comes to shove and people just generalize Christians and go, they believe this, they believe that, and that's not true, there's at least some kind of documentation somewhere that just goes, no, here's what they're actually about.
Right. I'm reminded of like a good song, especially as a middle schooler discovering and falling in love with music, because you're going through this season of life where everything's changing around you. And when you hear a great lyric that explains what you feel and what you're thinking, and you didn't have the words for it yet.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you're reminding me of with these episodes. Like, oh yeah, like I do believe in baptism, but I guess I've never collected all of those thoughts. Yeah. And so trying to help people also find the words for things that might just be a couple sentences in the Bible spread out across really hundreds of years from when they were written. And yeah, I've heard them preached before, but I didn't realize how they connected like that. And I love helping people to understand and connect those dots.
Yeah. Or, hey, my whole life, I've been a Christian. I thought it was this. Wait, that's not actually what that means.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
or maybe you drew a conclusion yourself. Like, in order to help yourself understand it, you stored it in your brain this way in this context.
Yeah.
But that's not actually what Scripture says.
Like, to use the lyric illustration like that you used earlier. I mean, let me just apply it in a different way. You know, not too long ago, you know, like when you're a kid, you hear lyrics, but maybe sometimes, your vocabulary isn't as extensive as it becomes when you're an adult. So maybe you think the lyrics are one thing because you just don't know the actual words later on, or you don't know the terms or like the slang or whatever, right? So, you know, when I was a kid, one of my favorite TV shows was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I'm an 80s kid. I love that show, right? And there's a part in the song, the song is explaining who the Ninja Turtles are, right? And there's a line where the vocalist says, and when the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't cut him no slack. Okay, that's the line, okay? Well, when I was a kid, I never heard the phrase cut him no slack. I didn't know what like cutting somebody slack means. And so for decades, I never questioned it. For decades, I thought the lyric was, when the evil Shredder attacks, these turtle boys don't come in no slacks.
I do, yes.
Because they don't wear pants. I just thought, okay, that's a weird choice, but that's what it means. All right.
Yes.
Right. And it turns out with time, like, I rewatched it with one of my sons, and I was like, oh, that's completely different than what I thought that. And actually the actual lyric makes much more sense. And for how many of us with the Christian faith, like I've always believed this. And then you go, wait, that's not actually what I believe. Oh, and actually the actual thing makes way more sense.
Wow. That's really good. Well, we're not cutting anybody no slack here on the Why Do Christians podcast.
Especially the Shredder.
Yeah, if you're listening, Shredder, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
So I've put together, based on downloads, the top 10 episodes of the podcast.
Okay.
And so these aren't, you can't, it's pretty obvious what the top 10 are, but also a lot of these episodes, these have come out over a year. We do an episode a week.
Right.
And we're at 50 episodes today. So Basically, a full year of the podcast is what we're seeing here. But the older episodes naturally have had more time to be listened to.
To firm it, if you will.
Yes. Okay. So like the most recent episodes kind of don't stand a chance at having the downloads that the older episodes have.
Oh, that bums me out. Can I tell you why? Because I feel like we've gotten better at this.
We
as
have
time went
gotten
on.
better.
Okay.
All right. So coming at number 10, why do Christians celebrate Christmas?
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that makes me feel a little festive, and I'm glad it's there. Okay.
Yeah. Coming at number 9, why do Christians deconstruct?
Ooh, I like that one.
Nice flip-floppy. Yeah, and the whole point of that episode was why do Christians leave the faith, basically,
Right. Or people leave the faith because I guess they're no longer Christians.
Right.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's an important episode to me.
Okay.
Because I've had friends that, I went to youth group with or went to church with, and they've stopped coming to church, and just spending some time talking about that. That's an important episode to me. So I'm glad that it made the top 10.
Cool.
Number 8, this one surprised me. Why do Christians believe in grace?
Okay.
And I like that it came up as one of the more popular episodes because you suggested the topic, and I was like, okay, sure, let's do an episode on that. And sure enough, it was like spot on. People want to know about God's grace.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Number 7, why do Christians love Chick-fil-A?
We made it, and we made it with the perfect number too. 7.
Perfect number.
Oh man. I could if it was number 1, I wouldn't be happier. That's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're more of a number 4 guy.
Touche. Okay.
Actually, I think they changed the numbers. I think number 4 is the chicken nuggets.
Is it?
I think the first,
Or is it
that was
chicken
a
strips?
5.
Strips and chicken strips?
Yeah.
Spicy? Is it spicy? Let's just name every menu item. It's
What
got
else
to be
do
one
they
of them.
have? Why
Yeah.
do Christians love? Yeah, so Chick-fil-A number 7, and that was just a fun, goofy episode. But I
feel
found
glad that we did it.
But that was what I heard. A lot of families who like actually listen with their kids. That was one of the first episodes they dive into.
Really?
Because it's just funny and fun and lighthearted and yeah. If you have any other franchises we need to talk about in an episode, let us know. Podcast at wearethebridge.org.
Okay.
Why do Christians
do you-
love Bojangles?
Do you want us to talk about Hobby Lobby? We will. We'll talk about it.
Number 6, why do Christians get married?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I thought that was a pretty relevant episode because it feels like marriage has lost its luster culturally.
Yeah.
And that seemingly Christians are keeping it alive.
If I remember right, when we were prepping that, you said a thing that I thought was really good where you said, hey, like, let's make sure that in our communication with this, what we're not doing is just a negative response. But let's talk about the positive end of all of this, like the benefit of marriage, because what can happen is we can be so reactionary towards cultural relationship standards that we just go, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. But here's a good why.
Yeah.
And I really like the way that you framed that.
All right, we're in the top 5.
Okay.
Top 5 episodes.
Whew. All right.
This one's gonna warm your heart.
Okay.
Why do Christians have testimonies? Because that's our episode.
Yeah, we made it to number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, I mean, we didn't advertise it as Mark and Bert telling their stories.
I bet you if we did,
It wouldn't have made the top 10. But we talked about the importance of what God's done in your life and sharing it with other people. Number 4, and you'll see a theme. The top 4.
Okay.
These are all deep episodes.
Really?
So conversations that maybe Christians don't want to have.
Like heavy topics?
Yes.
Whoa, okay, hang on.
But people are interested in, like, yeah, I want to know that answer, and no one ever talks about this.
Whoa, okay. I'm bracing myself.
So number 4, why do Christians suffer?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And we recorded that specifically for a friend who said, I have these friends who don't go to church, and what do I say to them? They ask these questions like, why is there hurt in the world?
Yeah.
And that's one of our most downloaded episodes.
How about that?
Yeah. Why do Christians believe in heaven? Number 3.
Okay.
And that was a heavy episode.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about how you and I both lost our moms in like the same, was it the same week?
I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And just the hope that we have in eternity. Number 2, this one's surprising. Why do Christians have denominations?
I'm kind of glad that's up there because that's a very, very weighted topic. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just why are there different churches?
Yeah.
And
wait, so that's number 2.
Number 1.
Oh man, hold on. Okay. All right, I'm ready. What is it?
Why do Christians believe in demons?
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Number 1.
How about that?
And it was almost a significant increase.
Really?
Like 6 or 7% higher than denominations.
Okay.
So like people want to know what is it with spiritual warfare?
It's real, and maybe we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important. I feel weird to say that I'm glad I'm definitely glad it's in the top 10. I don't ever want demonology to be my most important thing in life, right? So I would much rather talk about Easter any day than demons. At the same time, we who are here in the West tend to believe that our spiritual adversaries are only in creepy places to us, right? Mm-hmm. Or in the we're okay with the idea of stuff happening in Bible times, but something being real now is skittish for us. So I think that's an important topic and conversation for us to have. So I'm glad that it certainly made the top 10. It surprised me that it's number 1, but okay.
It's number 1, and it's probably because we don't talk about it enough.
Okay, yeah. Should we do a part 2 of it sometime?
Sounds good to me. Write in if you want that. podcast@wearethebridge.org. So that's the top 10 downloaded episodes. Maybe you want to check those out. And maybe you're new to this podcast. Maybe somehow this one grabbed you in your journey learning about Christians and Christian faith. And if you're new to this podcast, some of the ones you want to check out. Why do Christians believe in the Bible?
Yeah. That's an earlier one that we did.
Yeah, very early. Why do Christians worship?
Mm-hmm.
Why do Christians quote John 3:16? Why do Christians have quiet times? That's where we talk about
your time with the Lord,
daily spending time with God. Why do Christians get baptized? Why do Christians have testimonies? Number 5. You could hear our story and hearing what God did in our lives.
Yeah, that's a thing to know, by the way, in all of this. Neither Mark nor I believe that God is a theory or philosophy. We believe he's a person.
Yeah.
We believe he wants to know you. We believe that you can know him, and that salvation is found through nobody but Jesus, and that he wants to save you. So I think I would not be speaking out of turn for you, Mark, if I said, man, what we would want more than anything else for you is to come into a saving knowledge of Jesus. So, man, you talk about having a heart for what we want to see happen in this show. That's certainly up there. Yeah.
Yeah. And last on that list, why do Christians get saved?
Hey, yeah. Maybe I just said a phrase right there. Like, what does that even mean? I guess you listen to the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Bert, it's been fun to do 50 episodes of this show with you. And here's to 50 more.
Amen, my friend. Amen.
And we'll do one of these.
Oh, you know what though? Did I give you a middle name this episode?
No.
Then I guess let me say to you, Mark, one for the ages, Dickie.
Aww.
I'm so glad that we've had 50, and yeah, I look forward to 50 more.
My heart. Well, if you enjoy this podcast, please give it a rating, and whatever you do on your podcast platforms. I've said this 50 times. I should know what to say, but
share it.
Share the podcast. Let people know. And if you have questions for us to answer in future episodes, you can write into podcast@wearethebridge.org. Thanks for listening.